want to talk to you about two different books involving dragons. I read these two back to back, and I don't know if that's why I've got some of the feelings that I do about this one in particular. So I've read The Baby Dragon Bakery by A.T. Qureshi. That is the follow-up to The Baby Dragon Cafe, which I really enjoyed. It was a good, cozy kind of fantasy novel, and it felt quite unusual. Like the inclusion of the dragons sort of worked. This one feels like it's kind of any very generic rom-com with extremely stupid people taking part who just completely miss the point a lot to make it so it lasts long enough for a book. With dragons shoehorned in, like this could happen anywhere. It could be on the set of like Gilmore Girls, it could be in London, it doesn't need dragons. It's not, there's no sort of real effort to extend that kind of fantasy world overly that was created in the Baby Dragon Cafe. It just continues as it was. There's no sort of any extra additions or anything like that. And you felt while you were reading it like that was because the author's just written rom-coms and kind of stuck dragons into them to make them sell as cozy fantasy. I really enjoyed The Baby Dragon Cafe. There is going to be another book in this series, and I probably would go back for that, but I think if it was as disappointing as this one, that'd probably be where I would finish with the series, because I definitely wasn't a big fan of this. The other dragon book I read just before, which may be some of the problem, is Cat Dragon by Samantha Birch. I found this in Waterstones, just wandering around, wasn't looking for anything in particular, but it sounded really good. It's again, like, definitely very cozy fantasy. The premise is that most witches have a cat dragon that looks suspiciously like a fox on the picture as their familiar, and that helps them to extend their powers or kind of centre their powers a bit more. The witch in the cover doesn't have one, has reached adulthood, working, still doesn't have one after most people do, and that's kind of a disappointment. And then lots of things happen, and she ends up going on kind of an adventure with a cat dragon that she discovers, and someone who is like the brother of her best friend, who she kind of has a love-hate relationship with and doesn't see as any kind of friend. And we get a bit of an enemies to lovers kind of story, which is pretty good. The fantasy world in this, because she's a magico-botanist who sort of works with magical plants, and that is actually really essential to the story. She needs to use her plant knowledge to be able to solve some of the problems. Feels much more developed. This is what you kind of hope from this kind of cozy fantasy. There's a genuine, like, sort of rules to the world. The powers that she have make sense and help her, but within reason. Like, she uses the things that she already knew to solve the problems, and you get quite a satisfying love story as well. So if you're choosing between the two, I would choose Cat Dragon. It's definitely a brilliant book.